Well, for a discussion, let's bring in our fair and balanced radio panel. Joining us now from Philadelphia, Rich Zeoli, and self-described liberal host Kyle Kulinski. Gentlemen, nice to see both of you. The president was tweeting that yesterday. This morning, on Easter morning, before church, also went on Twitter. He said this: Mexico is doing very little, if not nothing. It's stopping people from flowing into Mexico along their southern border and then into the U.S. They laugh at our dumb immigration laws. They must stop the big drug and people flows, or I will stop their cash flow. NAFTA, need wall, exclamation point. Rich, what do you think is going on here? The president didn't get funding for his wall. His base is upset, and now we see this sort of hardening of his line on immigration.
Leland, happy Easter. I think the president has this unique ability. Donald Trump makes the blue states act more blue. And what I mean by that is you take Brown's actions, right? Pardoning people, including a kidnapper, so that they don't have to face deportation. And, you know, Trump knows he's never going to win California, but he doesn't have to as long as he can win Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan. And ask yourself this question, you know, are blue-collar workers in those states, are they going to side with Trump on this issue or Jerry Brown, who says, you know what, we're going to pardon you so you don't have to be deported?
You view this sort of as a purely political calculation by the president to try and push things, okay? And I'm just going out on the limb here, Kyle. You probably agree with that.
So when it comes to these pardons and commutations, I think we're having a little bit of a false debate here, because there were 56 pardons and 14 commutations, and 95% of them were for nonviolent drug offenders. So
Kyle,
if you want to say...
Hold on, Kyle. I'm not talking about the pardons and commutations. I'm talking about President Trump here. Do you think this is a political calculation on his part, that your fellow friend here, Rich, said that they're able to, the president has viewed this as a way to sort of drive a wedge in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin? Does that work? If so, how do Democrats try and counter it?
Perhaps it's a political calculation, but in all seriousness, parts of what he said in that tweet, I hope, are not political calculations. I wish he would pull out of NAFTA. NAFTA has absolutely destroyed middle-class families all across this country, and President Trump talks a good game on trade deals. He often says that he's going to stop doing the dumb trade deals that hurt working families all across this country, but I've seen very little action on that front. In fact, there's been 83,000 jobs that have been outsourced as under President Trump's first year. So I wish that a lot of this wasn't talk, but unfortunately it is.
Okay, well, this seems to have meandered into some very different places than I thought it would, but we'll go ahead and take a listen to the president today as he headed to church. Take a listen.
The Democrats blew it. They had a great chance, but we'll have to take a look. But Mexico has got to help us at the border. They flow right through Mexico. They send them into the United States. Can't happen that way anymore.
All right, Kyle, same analysis here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why he frames this issue as a criminal issue when,
Rich just told you why he did, which is that he thinks it works well for him in Ohio and Pennsylvania, in other states. So the question is, how would Democrats try to counter that?
Well, I mean, simply they could point out the fact that 99.75% of Dreamers are law-abiding citizens, and about 91% of Dreamers work or go to school. So
Democrats don't want a deal to help the Dreamers. They don't want a DACA deal. Can we just stop pretending like the Democratic Party wants to solve this problem before midterms? You guys have nothing else to run on but fear of deportation. So you want to keep that issue alive, keep that dream alive, if you will, now. And you'd love to keep it alive in 2020 as well, because the Democratic Party right now has nothing. Because as Jerry Brown proves, and as Phil Murphy in New Jersey proves, where he's announcing $1.5 billion for illegal immigrants to fight Trump, it proves that they go to the left, the kooky left of their base, and it does not play well with mainstream voters. The reaction always to every Trump tweet, every Trump position is to go left. They go further left. It's what you guys do.
No, I wish they would go further left. The majority of the American people are in favor of the Dreamers. And like I just said, over 99% of them are law-abiding citizens, and 91% of them work or go to school. So this isn't a middle class. This isn't an issue
Kyle, I want to ask you. You just said you wish who would go further left.
I wish the Democrats would go further left. I wish the president would go further left. Again, like I was just talking about, President Trump referenced NAFTA in that tweet, and I wish he would pull out of NAFTA. I wish he would go to the left. On the campaign trail, he went to the left on war issues. He said he would get us out of Iraq. He said he would get us out of Afghanistan. He didn't do those things. I wish he would do those things.
Yeah, well, and also now he's saying that major change possibly in U.S. policy is going to pull troops out of Syria a lot earlier than we thought. Rich, Kyle, appreciate it, guys. We got to run.
Thanks.
Happy Easter. Thanks, guys. All right, Liz.